This is Easter Sunrise, brought to you by Wesley Mission.
Welcome back to this Easter sunrise celebration from Mrs Macquarie's chair on Gadigal land on the shores of Sydney Harbour. I'm thrilled to introduce our guest today. Last year at the Tokyo Olympic Games, high jump athlete Nicola McDermott had us all sitting on the edge of our seats, cheering her along as she jumped more than 2 metres. She posted her personal best and set an Australian women's high jumping record for the 3rd time as she went on to win an Olympic silver medal. It was a wonderful moment, not only for Nicola, but for Australia as well. I caught up with Nicola in her home between training sessions. Nicola, so good to be with you today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Where did it all begin?
High jump for me started when I was 8 years old at Gosford Little Athletics. They introduced it to me and I just thought as soon as I tried it that this was the event for me. I found that with all the other events I was quite mediocre, but with high jump it was one of those things that it was a few steps and then I jump over a bar and it was a benefit to be tall. So I stopped growing when I was 14, so I was already very tall. So to find something that I was passionate about and good at, that was a no-brainer for me. I decided this is the thing I need.
Grade 6, you swapped schools. Talk to us about why that was and what impact that had on you.
My brother had just gone to high school in Greenpoint Christian College and it was a K-12 school. So in year 6 they said, we're going to start you early because you're going to be there in high school anyway. And I was thinking, oh no, that's a terrible idea because I'm going to be the only one.
The only new kid.
The only new kid. And I was already 6 foot going into year 6. So I was like a giant walking in. I thought, oh no, they're going to just bully me and I'm going to have to just cop it and then earn their respect through my success or through being smart or something and get through it. So I'd already pulled up like all of these walls and almost getting ready to experience not being accepted. And when I walked in, I was completely accepted for who I was. I walked into not only the teachers, but the students around me just having this love. And they just saw me and they just loved on me. And I said, why, in my head, why would anybody treat me like this? And later that day, they said, we love because Jesus loves us. And it was a moment where I went, I don't know who Jesus is. Okay, well, I need to discover who Jesus is. And it started my journey from year 6, that year of school, of learning the source of that love and the person of love. And when I got that, it was a defining moment that would change the rest of my life.
Through primary school into high school, I mean, how important was athletics for you in terms of just forming and shaping who you are today?
I found that it was a really great way to communicate and make friends because since I was so tall and I was a bit of an outsider, I found making friends was very difficult for me. So when I had sport, I got a community that appreciated me for who I was, and all of a sudden I wasn't weird for being tall, I was celebrated. It's like, yes, she can be on our team. And as a teenager as well, it sort of steadied a routine for me because I had vision and I had goals.
Your faith, clearly something that's not just peripheral to who you are, it's central. You talked about that after winning.
I found that I was making my life identity through my sport and I kept on pursuing that. I had faith on the side, but my sport was the main thing. And everything was set up perfectly. I was so dissatisfied because I recognized that I'd done everything without God. My identity was in what I did. So as soon as I found that what I did wasn't satisfying me, then life wasn't enough. I made the flick and just went, I'm just going to seek God first and I'll put sports second. And as soon as I put my faith in the center of my entire life, like what I do, what I believe, why I wake up in the morning, then everything, just this joy came into my life. Everything had meaning. God called me back to sport, but I did it His way. The way that I did university or cleaned cups, the cafe, like everything that I did, the relationships that I had, all of a sudden I had this divine meaning and purpose to it because I could see God's perspective of it. I wanted that to be the fabric that holds me together and that they can see Jesus through me.
Your identity now, if I was to ask you, so who is Nicola McDermott? What would you say is your identity?
I'm a child of God.
It's an enormous amount of dedication to be a world-class athlete. What's involved? What sort of commitment level you require?
It goes beyond just training, and it goes beyond just the mental training. I found that in reaching and making the Olympic Games and making the Olympic podium was almost the amount of effort was the exact same. Like, I train 6 days a week. My team just seems to be getting bigger and bigger, even leading up to the Olympics. I had a whole, almost a small army of supporters and a community behind me to keep on encouraging me. But personally, it was really the message that you have inside of you. Why are you doing it? Because when you have a strong why, regardless of what's ahead of you, you know that there's such a divine reason for why you're there.
What is your why?
I use it as a platform in order to reach people. And it brings me so much joy. I love jumping. Like, I love that it costs me everything to be able to jump as high as that I do, but I see it as worship, because what I've been given from God is a gift.
Talk to us about the people who are around you that really carry you and support you in getting to where you've got to today.
My coach actually picked me up when I was 10 years of age. He saw me and said, I see so much potential in you. I really think that you can jump 2 meters. And to have someone say
At
that...
10 years of age?
Yeah. He said, in 10 years' time, if you stay with me, I reckon we're going to be able to reach those heights. It took him 14, but I won't. You
won't hold him.
I won't hold him to that. No, but I found that when I was encouraged and I had that belief spoken over me as a teenager, made sharing that Olympic moment just so special. My federation with Athletics Australia, we started getting more support in the last couple of years. My strength and conditioning coach, Nicola, she went to New Zealand and we were doing programs remotely. My physio, Brett, he picked me up after the Commonwealth Games in 2018 and said, I'm going to give you free physio every week now because I believe in you. He saw the potential. And then we started forming these beautiful connections, and I got my dietitian from the Institute, then my sports psychologist, Mike, who, he was the one that sort of helped formulate the journal that got all the popularity.
The journaling. Talk to us about that.
Before a competition, you don't really do a lot, and you need to do that. You almost need to be bored in order to be ready to compete, because you want something exciting. You're like, well, I may as well win a competition. That'll be exciting, right? And so I started watercoloring and drawing and things, not only like with my high jump techniques and things, but also things that inspired or encouraged me, or particular like sentences and words and things that would bring fire into my heart and go, yeah, like this really helps me. For example, Tokyo, 2 hours and 45 minutes was that competition, and you're in the zone the entire time. I'd wrote myself notes, and I wrote myself even like Bible verses, scripture verses, like all throughout it, because I wanted to remind me of who I am. For Tokyo, I've got the raw analysis, and I can look at it now and I can learn so much from it. Having that self-analysis of what I need to do to jump the next height and what I did right made it so fluent, because when I'm jumping now, if I miss the bar or make the bar, it doesn't actually matter. Win or lose, doing a high jump or doing a low jump, there's always something to learn.
Yeah, and I feel like when the camera zoomed in on some of those pages, we got a bit of an insight into who you are.
This is a very private part of my processing and of my life, but what I've got in here, I'm willing to share.
You talked before, beautiful and very powerful, about your athletic career being a form of worship. You've started a new ministry called Everlasting Crowns. What's that all about?
My heart is to equip and train and reach athletes in the field where we are. If you really change the life of an athlete, when they go back to their country and their community, they'll change an entire country. Sometimes sports stars are almost like the celebrities and can reach the most in their countries. So that's my ministry, of reaching the people in sport as well as at the top, because then I can see like the impact that they can have in their own communities.
So before we finish, can we have a look at the bling, the medal?
The medal?
Yeah, the
yes.
medal.
I mean, you can hold it.
Fantastic.
Wear it.
Oh my gosh, how heavy is this?
I know.
Nicola, I mean, this is an incredible achievement. Where does this rate for you? I mean, it's a silver medal. I mean, there are not many people in the world who have this, particularly in athletics in Australia. It's a huge achievement.
Yeah, the rating, I know I'm quite good at rating out of 10.
Yes, you are. In fact,
A
you're
10
famous
out of
for
10 experience for me, but it's not the highlight yet because there's more to come. So it's a nice reminder of what is possible, but there's so much greater to still come.
It was a real privilege to spend time with Nicola in her home and to talk with her about her life, her sport and her ministry. Let's welcome back now City of Light with another song appropriate to today, Your Will Be Done.